Writing. The CEO ran over a single dad's bicycle. He hacked her Tesla and drove it into the lake. The sharp screech of tires shattered the peaceful morning, and in a single heartbreaking moment, a battered blue bicycle, the only way a struggling single father could take his daughter to school and make it to work, was crushed beneath the expensive tires of a gleaming luxury SUV. The driver barely slowed down before speeding away, leaving twisted metal scattered across the quiet roadside like broken dreams. Standing beside the ruined bicycle, 36-year-old Adrian Mercer held his frightened 8-year-old daughter Lily close while tears filled her eyes. He looked at the disappearing vehicle and quietly promised himself that this injustice would not be forgotten. He had spent years choosing kindness over anger, but that morning something inside him finally cracked. Before we continue this emotional journey, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Little Kindness Tales if you believe kindness deserves a second chance and that even the deepest wounds can lead to unforgettable miracles. Your support helps these heartfelt stories reach more people around the world. Adrian had never imagined life would become so difficult. 3 years earlier he had lost his wife, Nora, after a sudden illness. Overnight he became both mother and father to Lily. Every morning before sunrise he repaired old computers inside a tiny neighborhood electronics shop, then delivered refurbished laptops on weekends to earn enough money for rent, groceries, and Lily's school supplies. Their small apartment was simple but warm with love. They laughed over homemade pancakes on Sundays, celebrated birthdays with handmade decorations, and believed that happiness could still exist even without wealth. Their old bicycle was more than transportation. It represented survival. It carried Lily to school, Adrian to work, and sometimes both of them to the park where they watched ducks swim across a peaceful lake under bright daytime skies. The woman responsible for destroying that bicycle was Evelyn Cross, the powerful CEO of one of the country's fastest-growing technology companies. Newspapers described her as brilliant, fearless, and unstoppable. Investors admired her confidence while competitors feared her ambition. Yet beneath the polished public image lived someone who had forgotten what ordinary people struggled through every day. Meetings mattered more than moments. Profits mattered more than people. Deadlines mattered more than compassion. She never even realized the bicycle she crushed belonged to a father whose entire routine depended on it. Without transportation, Adrian missed several repair appointments that week. Customers canceled orders, and his manager warned him that reliability mattered. He tried carrying heavy toolboxes on foot through the summer heat while Lily walked beside him holding her backpack. They arrived everywhere exhausted. Bills piled higher. The landlord politely reminded him that rent was due. Every evening Adrian secretly worried while pretending everything would be all right for Lily's sake. Long before becoming a repair technician, Adrian had studied computer engineering at university. He had once dreamed of designing cybersecurity systems before family responsibilities forced him into practical work. Although life had changed his path, his skills never disappeared. At night, after Lily fell asleep, he continued reading technical journals and practicing ethical hacking inside legal simulation environments simply because technology fascinated him. Friends often joked that Adrian could understand computers better than people. Several days after the accident, Adrian unexpectedly saw a news report celebrating Evelyn's newest self-driving Tesla demonstration. Television cameras proudly followed the vehicle as journalists praised its cutting-edge software. Watching the broadcast awakened a dangerous mixture of pain and frustration. He remembered Lily crying beside the broken bicycle while the CEO drove away without even looking back. The image replayed again and again inside his mind until anger overwhelmed his normally gentle heart. Late one evening, Adrian discovered that the demonstration vehicle had accidentally exposed a vulnerable testing interface during a public software event. It was never intended for outside access, but careless security settings had left an opening. He stared silently at his computer screen. Every lesson about ethics told him to close the window and report the issue. Every painful memory whispered something else. His fingers trembled as he typed. The following afternoon, Evelyn's Tesla quietly began driving itself away from the private company parking area. Security staff assumed it was another autonomous systems test. Cameras showed the vehicle calmly following nearby roads before turning toward the large public lake outside the city. Confused engineers attempted to regain control, but the commands failed. The car rolled slowly onto a deserted boat ramp before gliding straight into the calm water under the bright afternoon sun. It sank beneath the surface while dozens of stunned witnesses watched from a safe distance. Nobody was inside. No one was injured. The entire event lasted less than 5 minutes, yet videos spread across the internet within hours. News channels exploded with speculation. Some blamed software failure while others suspected sabotage. Financial analysts predicted enormous losses. Evelyn watched the footage repeatedly in disbelief. Her company's reputation collapsed overnight, and investors demanded answers. During the internal investigation, cybersecurity specialists discovered that the intrusion came from someone with extraordinary technical knowledge who had intentionally avoided harming anyone. Every digital trail eventually pointed toward Adrian. Police officers arrived respectfully at Adrian's apartment. He cooperated fully, admitted everything, and explained every technical detail without resistance. He never denied responsibility. Instead, he quietly described the crushed bicycle, the missed work, Lily's tears, and the feeling of being invisible to someone powerful enough to change lives without noticing. His confession surprised everyone because it contained no hatred, only sadness. The legal process moved quickly. Because Adrian caused property damage through unauthorized computer access, he faced serious consequences. Yet the court also reviewed surveillance footage showing Evelyn leaving the bicycle accident without stopping to help. Public opinion shifted dramatically. People debated accountability, privilege, technology, and compassion. Some called Adrian a criminal. Others called him a desperate father pushed beyond his limits. The story became far bigger than either of them expected. During one hearing, the judge encouraged both sides to meet privately before final decisions were reached. For the first time, Evelyn sat across from Adrian without cameras, reporters, or executives surrounding her. She listened carefully as photographs of the destroyed bicycle, overdue bills, worn shoes, and Lily's handwritten school essays rested quietly on the table. Those simple papers affected her more deeply than any courtroom argument. She suddenly realized she had never once considered what happened after she drove away that morning. That evening, Evelyn visited the neighborhood where Adrian lived. She saw children playing in narrow streets, parents returning home after long workdays, and ordinary families finding joy despite hardship. She noticed Lily helping an elderly neighbor carry groceries upstairs while Adrian repaired a broken fan for another resident without charging money. These were not people looking for revenge. They were people trying to survive with dignity. The next morning, Evelyn made a decision that shocked her entire board of directors. She publicly accepted responsibility for the bicycle accident and apologized without excuses. She established a company program providing free bicycles and transportation assistance to low-income families whose livelihoods depended on reliable travel. She personally covered Adrian's legal expenses and compensated him for lost income, but Adrian refused to accept unnecessary gifts. He accepted only enough to replace what had been lost. Instead of demanding harsh punishment, Evelyn requested restorative justice. She argued that Adrian's actions were wrong but were rooted in pain that she herself had helped create. The judge considered both accountability and genuine remorse from each side. Adrian received community service focused on cybersecurity education, where he taught students and small businesses how to protect themselves from digital threats. His remarkable technical skills finally found meaningful purpose. Months passed beneath clear blue daytime skies. Evelyn continued visiting community technology workshops without announcing her arrival. She learned the names of families she once would have overlooked. Adrian gradually rebuilt his life. His cybersecurity classes became so respected that local schools invited him to teach regularly. Lily proudly watched her father stand in front of classrooms, inspiring young minds with knowledge instead of bitterness. One afternoon, Evelyn offered Adrian a permanent position leading ethical cybersecurity research inside her company. Many employees questioned the decision, but she believed true leadership meant recognizing talent while encouraging redemption. Adrian accepted on one condition: part of the department's mission would focus on protecting nonprofit organizations and schools from online attacks free of charge. Evelyn agreed immediately. Together they transformed more than a company. They changed its culture. Employees volunteered throughout local neighborhoods. Scholarship programs expanded. Transportation initiatives helped struggling parents reach work safely. The broken bicycle that once symbolized despair was carefully restored and displayed inside the company headquarters as a reminder that every decision made by powerful people affects real families beyond office walls. If this story has touched your heart so far, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Little Kindness Tales. Every interaction helps meaningful stories of compassion, forgiveness, and hope reach someone who may need them today. As years passed, visitors often asked why an old bicycle stood proudly beside awards worth millions. Adrian would simply smile while Lily, now growing into a confident young woman, reminded everyone that kindness often begins where pride ends. The bicycle was never about metal or wheels. It represented the day two broken lives found a better path through responsibility, forgiveness, and courage. Before this story ends, please leave a comment with one word: kindness. Your single word may inspire someone else to choose compassion over revenge today. Life rarely offers perfect heroes or perfect villains. Sometimes good people make terrible decisions, and sometimes successful people forget the value of simple human kindness. What truly defines us is not the mistake itself but the courage to accept responsibility, seek forgiveness, and build something better from the broken pieces. Adrian never forgot the pain of that terrible morning, and Evelyn never forgot the lesson hidden beneath the calm waters of the lake. Together they proved that justice without compassion leaves wounds behind, but accountability joined with kindness can change lives forever. As the sun shone brightly over the peaceful lake where anger had once reached its deepest point, a father, a daughter, and a CEO walked forward carrying hope instead of regret, reminding everyone that even after our darkest choices, a brighter tomorrow can still begin.